Take you live to Bloemfontein now, where we find my colleague, senior reporter Silindelo Masikane. She was following this case. Slee, we understand the family of one of the accused has some issues at court this morning. Tell us about that.
It seems the family of accused number 11, Makhetha, was not allowed inside the courtroom, and they've raised, of course, some grievances and concerns around the fact that this is the second time that they haven't been allowed in court. You would remember that the three latest accused were arrested last week. They made their first appearance in court, and today was their second appearance. And the family says even last week they were not allowed inside the courtroom, so they are looking for some answers from the court manager, and they're saying that they are hoping that, of course, next week when accused 11 and 12 do apply for bail, that they will be inside the courtroom. Of course, as the family, they say that they are trying to support their loved ones, and of course they believe that accused number 11, Makhetha, is innocent. Now, we do know that the three latest arrests are G4S employees currently suspended, and they, at this stage, two of them will be applying for bail next week. Like you said, accused number 10, Thabang Mier, he has been granted 10,000 Rand bail, and this was an agreement between his legal representative as well as the state. We actually saw him leaving the courtroom, so I can officially say that he has paid his bail. I spoke to him briefly inside court. He said he was happy that he had received bail. I also spoke to his mother, who also said that she's very happy that her son has been released, and of course also believes in his innocence. But let's just take a listen into the family, the brother of accused number 11, who speaks about the issue of not being allowed inside court.
We are not impressed. We are not happy, actually, the way recreating the treatment when we arrive at court today, because last time we've been here and then they allow people to go through to the court. But unfortunately today when we arrived, they stopped us inside the court. They said, no, we are not allowed to be part of that because they just only allow only two people. The fact is that we want to know exactly as a family what happened, because we don't want to hear from the media, we don't want to hear from television or radio stations, but we want to know exactly, because we need the clarity for what was happening according to our brother as a family. The fact is that it's unfortunate. We are so disappointed according the procedure of the court, because we are not aware about this. They just tell us when we arrive now.
So, Slee, the National Prosecuting Authority didn't oppose Thabang Mier's bail application. They're opposing the other two as bail application happening on the 11th of July. Why is that?
Well, the other two accused, 11 and 12, are facing Schedule 5 offences. This means the onus will be on them to show the court why the interests of justice permit their release on bail. From what I've seen from the charge sheet, they are facing a charge of corruption as well as aiding and abetting. And of course, the state says that it intends to oppose their bail applications. And so far, from what we understand from the NPA as well, is that the 12 accused so far, this is who the state believes they've been able to link to the escape saga. And speaking to the NPA as well, they say that they have, of course, not ruled out the possibility of more arrests. So come the 8th of August, when we see all 12 accused back in the dock, including Thabo Bester, we may, of course, see more arrests between now and then. But at this stage, the state believes it has a very strong case against the 12 accused who have already been arrested. Let's take a listen.
For as long as if there is investigations that are underway, we cannot rule out the possibility of more people being arrested, but that will depend on the investigations that are conducted by the investigating officers. If the investigation points at certain people and then the prosecutors and the investigators are convinced those people must be arrested and be brought before the court, that decision will be made. But at the moment, the 12 that we have are those people that we have convincing evidence that they may be involved in this, in assisting Thabo Bester to escape from prison.
And Slee, lastly, what are his bail conditions?
All right, so Thabang Mier, who has been released on 10,000 Rand bail, does have a couple of conditions that he needs to adhere to, and that is, of course, that he cannot contact witnesses, he may not intimidate witnesses. His lawyer has actually been given a list of those witnesses that he is not allowed to be in contact with. We also know that he has already handed over his passport to the investigating officer. He also needs to, he can't leave the district of Mangaung without informing the investigating officer, and he's also expected to report to a police station at least once a week between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and he's also been warned that he needs to appear in court for all appearances. He's been warned that he should be at the courthouse by the earliest, at least 8:30 before court proceedings. So those are his bail conditions, and Thabang Mier being released on 10,000 Rand bail means that he's the third person in this case that has been granted bail. You remember Zolile Sekeleni, Dr. Nandipa's father, he got bail back in April after his arrest, and then we saw Nastasia Janssen, that is accused number 8, also being released on 10,000 Rand bail, and now Thabang Mier also through an agreement through his lawyers also being released today. So he has actually walked out of the courthouse, and like I said, he seems quite happy that he has been released.
And Slee, before I let you go, I saw on your Twitter feed that you were able to have a quick conversation with Thabang Mier. How did he seem to you after being told that he's granted bail?
Very relieved, quite relieved. His family as well, I must say. Speaking to his mother, she was quite grateful, praying, saying that, she went to church yesterday, and they all believe in his innocence. In that short conversation with him as he was leaving the dock, you could tell that he's been quite anxious in terms of whether or not a decision or an agreement could be reached with the state, because last week there were indications that it seemed the state would be opposing his bail application, but it seems after verifying his details, his address, etc., the state then believed that it didn't have a case to oppose his bail. So that agreement being reached means that he was able to walk out of the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court, of course, with those bail conditions in tow.
All right, senior reporter Silindelo Masikane.